control the software and give the user the ability to perform the tasks they need seamlessly. As you shall learn throughout the course, there is no magic at all. There is just good design. So, an operating system is a program that acts as intermediary between user of a computer and computer hardware. This is a very brief definition of what is an operating system. Through this course, we will look at the operating system from a designer point of view. It's very important for you to remember this, and I will remind you as much as I can. From a designer point of view, we are going to develop the ideas, the concepts that actually makes it that actually enable us to design an operating system. Sorry, I have just some gags. Operating system, any design have design goals. This is the first step. So the main design goals for an operating system would be to execute user programs and make solving user programs easier, and to make computer systems convenient to use. Third, and not least important as the other goals, is to use computer hardware in an efficient manner. So it's executing user programs. Of course, this is the main goal of any computer system. So it enables the users to execute their programs. Then it makes using computer systems convenient to users. That's to say, without getting to go through the details of hardware. And to use computer hardware in efficient manner, because these are resources the operating system has to manage in order to be able to provide the above mentioned goals in a better way. It's actually more than that, more than the simple definition we have already mentioned. Operating system can be looked at as an extended machine. If I ask any of you about if you have a computer and how large is your RAM, some of you might have 4 GB RAM, while they are able to play games, watch movies, and that would be, again, might be like 10 gigabytes loaded in 4 megabytes along with the operating system. That seems a little bit impossible. But the operating system, as we shall see, by managing the memory, makes it possible. So it works as an extended machine, extends the machine capabilities in order to support the user needs. And it hides the messy details of how the hardware operates. On the other hand, it's a resource manager. It manages the resources. Say I have this printer and I'm sending 4 files. How will these files be printed? This is for the operating system to manage, to guarantee that every file will be printed as it should be. it will be really interesting for all of you to go with me in this journey. It's a journey, it's a fascinating journey to understand how each and every one of these actually is performed by an operating system. So, what are the computer system components? As we said earlier, it's hardware and software. Hardware provide basic computing resources, CPU, memory, secondary storage devices, peripherals, input output devices, and software that can be divided into operating system, system utilities, of course, operating system that controls the overall operations of the computer system, hardware and software, and application programs. These are the ones that perform the user tasks. You can look at the users as part of the computer system because they interact with the computer system. And because in many cases, the users of the system can be other computers or human beings or machines. It depends. Or even other softwares. If you want to have an abstract view of the computer system components, it will look like this. Where in the core, down at the bottom of the page, you have computer hardware. The next layer will be operating system. The next layer will be system and application programs. And then you have the users. Unix, as an operating system, has provided one of the first attempts to structure an operating system. Unix structure was actually multi-layer structure with the core of it, where the core is the hardware, and the hardware, the next layer is the kernel. The kernel is the most essential parts of the operating system. And then you have the system libraries, and the outermost layer is the applications. The applications interacts with the kernel through these libraries that we call the shell. And the shell actually can interprets the commands that comes from the user through using the software to the kernel and vice versa.